What is up, disc golfers? Today on Iceberg TV, I want to do a little video about the Paul Mcbeth-Ricky Wysocki rivalry. We got to see a classic Paul versus Ricky showdown, and I have a couple of things pulled up just to show a little bit of the history between these two. And after sort of the tempo of this weekend and then the things Ricky said in the post-coverage interview, that sort of ignited some conversations on Reddit, on Facebook, and a little bit in the comment section of some of my videos. Sort of that Paul versus Ricky thing that we all want to see. I think that's one of the most exciting rivalries, if not the most exciting rivalry in disc golf. When you think disc golf rivalry, you think Paul Mcbeth versus Ricky Wysocki, and then if you're more of an old school fan, you think Paul Mcbeth versus Will Shoestrick. But let's move on for a second from these guys. So if Paul Mcbeth dropped 6 points in his rating, Ricky came up +5. He's closing that ratings gap, which is really exciting. Obviously, Eagle and Simon are in the mix as well, Chris Dickerson. But let's move on to the post-tournament after Ricky won.
Said this is the first time you've ever won this event. This is maybe the largest event you haven't previously taken down. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. I mean, I've been through a lot of obstacles throughout the past year. With obviously everyone knows I go back to the Lyme disease. That was a huge setback in my career, but I think this is a sign as to what's to come, and I've overcome the Lyme disease with my choices and decisions. So I'm super excited to get this out there, get this win, and move forward towards progressing my career and being the best Wysocki bomber I can be.
You've talked about maybe getting a little revenge here. You were so close with the World Championships last year, coming up just short. You had an injury, you had some things going on. How do you come back here and get this revenge?
Well, yeah, there was just absolutely no chance that didn't care who it was. I wasn't going to lose by a little bit like I did at Worlds. I just wasn't an option for me.
He's obviously talking about Paul Mcbeth if you can't pick that up.
And I just wanted to make sure that it was all the ball was in my court, and it didn't matter what anyone else did. If I played my game and played aggressive and got the birdies like I did, then it's game over, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, today you came in here with a commanding lead.
You can see how his whole tone and demeanor has completely changed from, talking about winning to talking about his rivalry and his revenge. Like, he's really serious about wanting to beat Paul Mcbeth and wanting to get that revenge on Paul in this event, on this course specifically, because this is where Paul won the last Worlds.
And we know you're not one really to lay up or to, just let things go. When you came out here,
see, now that they're talking about something else, his demeanor's back to totally happy again. And like, when it comes to Paul Mcbeth, Ricky he doesn't get any more serious. So let's bring it back to March of 2016. This is a little bit of an interview that Paul Mcbeth, Will, and Ricky did in regards to an article that was put in the LA Times. So let's just have a quick look at this as well.
He asked, well, would you like to say anything about these players? And, just how Will and I are is like Will and I don't really get along, so I don't really have anything to say about him, And that kind of, he had his pen and paper, and that's what he wrote down and asked, can I say that? And it's like, it's up to you, If you want to put that in there, if you think it fits in the article, sure.
I don't care too much, really. I mean, I've grown up. When I was 17 or 18, I was the #1 player in the world, and I traveled around with 3 other guys, and I've honestly have had stuff said about me, and it's just one of those things. You just kind of deal with it and go on. Not really too worried about it.
And what I said about Rick was, Rick's a great player. He's one of those players that's going to win by 5 or 10 strokes, or if I feel like if I can keep it close with him, then I feel like I have a chance to win. And like I said, he had his pen and paper and put it how he wanted, and I'm not going to deny that I didn't say that, because that's obviously what I said, close to that.
That's definitely motivation, but I don't, I try to stay away from the drama and that stuff, but it's definitely motivation. I didn't read the whole article, but it's definitely, I don't know, I think it's good for the sport. I really, I'm not going to let it bring me down, but that's all I can say is it's good for the sport. And yeah, it's definitely motivating me, and that's that's not the only motivation I had this year is that article, but I mean, obviously, it's there, and it's obviously, I can't say that I love the article or hate it, but it's his feeling, so I can't really knock him for it. That's the way he feels, and he has the right to feel that way because he's the previous years he has obviously had a great performance, but as I'm putting all that aside for this year, and I'm really focused this year, and I'm really am feeling great and feeling the best I've felt in years.
So I just wanted to make this video real quick just to sort of remind everybody that there is a lot of history between Paul and Ricky. They've been going back and forth. Paul's obviously won many more worlds than Ricky. They've been competing for a long time. Paul has more wins, more cash. Ricky has a couple less world championships, but that doesn't mean Ricky can't close the gap. He can't get a higher rating than Paul, and he can't be a better player than Paul. Paul thinks that when it comes down to the wire, he can always beat Ricky, and I'm really excited to see how that pans out moving forward. Leave your comments in the comments section down below. Are you on Team Paul or Team Ricky? Thank you for watching. This is Iceberg TV, and take care.